uh, what's your relationship status?
Oh, man, yeah, yeah, just started
That's
with
what
that.
you said. So Joe Q. That's what I got today. I got Joe Q. I'm glad I know his actual last name because if not, then I'll be like, dang, I don't know what his last name. I know it starts with a Q though. I know it starts with a
Yeah,
Q.
yeah,
So Joe Q.
yeah.
Um,
hmm
Joe,
So,
what's your relationship status?
man, yeah, yeah, just started
That's
with
what
that.
you said. That's what
All right,
that's what we
all
had.
right. Yeah, yes. I forgot about the sneaky one though. That was a sneaky one. All right, the relationship status is single right now.
Single. Okay,
Yeah,
so
single. Yeah.
Joe's been on Men Talk Women. I want to say this may be the third time. I think this is the third time. So,
This is third down. Yeah, yeah.
so that means we've gone through, and me and Joe are like friends for real, not like friends like every now and then. Like we talk often, and we
We hold
real
each
with each
other
other.
accountable. Yeah, we hold each other
Yeah,
accountable.
all of that,
Yeah.
all of that. So Joe is single, and at one point you took your singlehood very seriously. You were like, yo, this is what I'm doing. Not like I'm single because, don't nobody want me. I'm single because whoop whoop. None of that. It was I'm single because
Yeah.
I want to focus on myself. So
Right.
why was that so important to you before we jump off into the singlehood?
Well, I mean, first of all, I know that you got to love on yourself, though. Not love on yourself, but love yourself. Sorry, that came out wrong.
Right.
I mean, sometimes that happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Um, you gotta love yourself, man. You gotta learn to know what you like. You gotta learn to know who you are first
Right.
as an individual, in order to know what you want and what your expectations are, what you're gonna allow and what you're not gonna allow
Okay.
in a relationship. Yeah.
So what did you learn anything? What did you learn during that time when you were like, yo, it's just gonna be me. I'm gonna learn how to treat myself. Like, what sorts of things did you kind of reveal to yourself?
Mm, I think mainly pretty much was just getting more in tune with my art side. I'm very artistic. Like I like a lot of. I know I'm talented. I just didn't know with what, but I needed to
Okay.
find a purpose about myself. I didn't know which one it was, but I'm talented with like speaking to people. I'm talented with like writing. I'm talented with these are gifts, and I know I'm able to reach people on a different level, and just not even just people, but for myself. But I want to strengthen those things first before I actually start blooming out. So I have to push people away a little bit, even people who I thought were friends too. You know what I'm saying? But I had to like
Right.
really get into it with just more like reading, exercising, feeling better about myself, get back to around my close friends, my family, being around loved ones that were who I knew that were going to deposit what I needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than just take, but to actually be, start receiving and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm, boom, single, and you're like, yo, this is gonna be purposeful and all of that. And I'm sure you interacted with, women during that time. Did you learn anything about women that you necessarily didn't know before or didn't pay attention to, before, or you feel like you had a pretty good understanding?
I just think that mainly it wasn't more about what I learned from women. It was just what I was learning about myself.
Okay.
I got out of relationship, and I just focused more on what the problem was about myself, other than pointing the finger, because it's so easy to point the finger at people.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people just do that every time they break up. I mean, you think about it, you see tons of quotes out there talking about he or she or the right person, or leave them if they're not happy. I mean, the fact is that you really need to focus just mainly on your own happiness and who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
So I just thought that it was more about just dissecting who I was first, and get more comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff I did not like about myself. But within time, people have came in my life. You know what I'm saying? Just people who just breezed by. But I've caught myself doing certain things that I was like, oh man, I need to not do that, or I need to not expect, you know what I'm saying, of something from someone, just to be a server, just to give and deposit. So I think that's where my goal right now is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we may have a lot of people listening or watching who maybe don't understand women, right? A lot of guys who are like, yo, like I don't know. Like they're confusing. I hear a lot of guys say stuff like, women are confusing, women are crazy, women are whatever, all over the place, women yada yada yada. And just because I try to pay attention to myself and try to listen, I don't necessarily have those, same thoughts. But that doesn't mean everybody is like me, So what do you think is important for a guy to know, or pay attention to when he's dealing with a woman? Like, what's important for that guy to kind of have in his mind
when he's dealing with a woman?
When he's dealing with a woman, right?
Yeah, I just think, you got to listen, just to pay attention. You got
right.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much and be slow to speak is what it says, right?
Okay.
So I think that's something that a woman wants, and I think it'll benefit him for the long run. Yeah. But I do think on a man's part, you got to give just enough. You don't got to give too much, because when you give too much, you suffocate it.
Okay.
With too much of stuff. And believe it or not, I really believe that happens. You know what I'm saying? If you give too much attention, they're gonna push you away. It's like, they're just gonna push you away. When you give, when you don't give enough, but when you give just enough, the moment they start complaining or wanting something, your attention, then they come back and say, hey, I want attention. I want this, and you start feeling needed. So you got to give them some space. I think space is important.
Okay, if we talk about that, how do you know what is too much or what is not enough? Is it something you're doing, or does it go back to what you said as far as paying attention to know what's enough or what's too much with that specific woman?
Well, attention to detail, man. When you pay attention to your woman, what she wants, what she likes, and you deposit that, you gotta put her in a position really first, in life. If she's in a relationship, if you're gonna be with her, to try to understand her, whether as a friend or a partner, you know what I mean? But if you're just more of if you're talking about being in a relationship with a girl and trying to understand her that way, you got to do the whole like 80-20 thing. And give them 80% of you, but keep 20% for yourself. Not give 100% of yourself. Okay. That's just my personal opinion.
Right.
I'm not gonna I won't give a woman 100% of myself. I'll give her 80 and the kids 80 of my time, the family 80, the house, all that stuff. But I'll keep 20% to myself, and I think that's extremely important.
Yeah.
To understand both sides.
Because I think what you mean is, excuse me, it's about making sure you're doing those things for yourself, like giving yourself time and attention. Because I think a lot of people do, when you talk about giving 100%, they're doing all this giving outside of themselves to their woman or your kids or your job. Like, there's so much that we give out, but then none of that is put back into them as far as making sure they're okay, making sure their mental is good. So I think that's important too. When
working
you talk about
that kind of stuff.
Just paying attention and taking care of yourself, so I definitely see. I understand that. Yeah. Okay.
Don't disturb her peace and don't disturb my peace.
Right.
Focus on yourself, and then she focuses on herself, and then at that point, y'all can keep that peace long term, other than short term. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's definitely important. Because both of you are individuals,
hmm
and you don't want to neglect the individualism, probably made
yeah,
up a word, but you don't want to
yeah,
neglect that,
right,
between between both of you. So I can
right.
see that. I can see that.
As
Okay,
far as
so
as far as understanding,
right.
I mean, I can write a book about everything you need to know about a woman, and it'll be 100 pages, and it'll be
Okay.
all blank. It'll be all blank pages though.
Why? Why
Because
would it? Why would it be
I'm
blank?
just saying. I'm just saying. Like trying to understand a woman. I mean, get me wrong. There's two sides to me on
Okay.
this kind of topic. But that first side, listening to what she likes, knowing what she wants. I mean, body language. I mean, all the
Mm-hmm.
languages, vibes, auras, all that kind of stuff is language, and you got to understand it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the other side is just really not trying to uh, give. Oh man. I don't know, bro. Like just not give too much about it. You know what I'm saying? Not give too much
Yeah.
into
Mm. Okay. Because I'm not. Mm, I don't. Okay. That's a like you say, two sides. Like it is very like I want to I want to give but I don't want to give, or I want to try hard but I don't want to try. Like I think a lot of relationships in general, I think are like that, from the man's side and from the woman's side, as far as
it. Yeah.
how much is too much or how little is too little, and what do
Mhm.
I, and I think that's why it's important to, I think just like paying attention to, whoever you're with is important. I think communication is just as, if not more important, because it's
You know
not a
what?
big deal.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, no,
Go
no,
ahead. Go
true.
ahead.
Communication is, but I really think what's more important is comprehending. If I
Okay,
can
I
talk
get
to
it.
you all, if I can talk to you, I can talk to my girl all the time about something. But if she ain't comprehending, or if he ain't comprehending, it ain't, man, it's just a long losing battle. You're just
I
gonna
get
keep
it,
agreeing to disagree and all this kind of stuff. So you got to
and I get
comprehend
it.
each other's both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that is. I've been thinking a lot over the last couple of weeks about this idea of competition, and I think a lot of people in relationships compete with one another.
Mm-hmm.
You're in this competition where you want to be right, you want to know it all, you want to be on top, whatever, any kind of variation of that. You're just competing. So when it's time to apologize, when it's
Yeah.
time to let the other person, lead in whatever area, then there's this friction, because you don't want that, because you're trying to compete with the person.
Right.
So you can't say, "Oh, my bad, you was right about such and such." You can't say, "Oh, no, 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 you got it." Like, I don't know that subject or that thing that well, so let me know about it. You can't do that. I told somebody the other day, you can't give compassion when you're in competition,
Mm.
and that's super important, because um, when it's time to console your lady, no matter what happened, no matter what is going on, she just needs you to console her. But in your mind, you got, this idea that, well, if you wouldn't have did that, then you wouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah.
If you had to listen to me, then you wouldn't have. And she don't need you, kind of showing your scoreboard at that time, like, boom, I got one on you, because you didn't. She don't need that, and vice versa. Your dude, if that's a situation that's happened, he don't need the scoreboard. He don't need the scorecard right then.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for people to do that. They can't give compassion because they're so preoccupied with this competition thing. I got to be right. I got to be on top. So that, all of that, to me, has to do with communication as well. Because if you are wrong, or if you do misinterpret something, let's say you don't comprehend. I didn't understand what you meant, so now I'm just asking for clarity. And then if I was right in what I was thinking, okay, cool, I'm on the right track. If I was off a little bit, cool, thank you for clarifying, because I was thinking something else. So, like
Right.
you
Right.
say, like
Right.
comprehension and communication, like is super important because people do
Yeah.
could just kind of talk at each other.